Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. We're live for the North London derby and I hope you're all doing well, excited about this. Some massive results have just happened in the Premier League as well. If you're a Chelsea and Newcastle fan, it wasn't easy, but 1-0 is the score for both of you. We'll take a look at the Premier League. Well, you can have a look at the Premier League table. It's right next to me if you want to have a look at it. But the Premier League is such an interesting league at the moment. I was doing my show on Talk Sport last night. Thanks to everyone who tuned in and just ran out of time in an hour and a half. Hardly touched on the relegation battle. Didn't really get to talk about a few other bits as well. But look, it's absolutely huge, this game today, and I think that in the context of the Premier League and the Premier League race, it's a North London derby, which is always exciting anyway. But it's got so many different strands to it. Obviously, Manchester United beating Man City yesterday presents an opportunity that is, without question, absolutely huge for Arsenal today if they can win. I think Arsenal will win. That was my prediction. But look, let's have a look at the teams as they are coming out at the moment. We are sponsored by Sneak. Let me just remind you what Sneak is. Sugar-free, low-calorie energy drinks delivered to your door. You can get a starter pack where you get 9 different sachets to try. So basically, they have 40 serving tubs. You put a scoop in, water up to there, shake it all about. I always put some ice cubes in. It's very nice. And then you've got a mouthful of ice cream. A lovely cherry bomb flavour for me today. Lovely stuff. Sugar-free, low-calorie. Delivered to your door. Please use the code SneakBridge. Really helps out the channel. SneakBridge is the code. You can scan the QR code next to me, or you can go through the link in the description. Big shout out to Sneak. And as I said, loads of lovely flavours. Cherry Bomb, Purple Storm, Tropicilla. What else do I like? Electric Mango. There's another one. Blue Raspberry. Absolutely fantastic. So check them out. Big shout out to them. Let's get the stats carousel going though, so we can start to take appreciation of the team news for both teams. And as you can see, that is the Spurs team lineup for you there. Lloris in goal, Romero, Dyer, Longley, Doherty and Sessegnon, Sarr and Højbjerg, Kulusevski, Son and Kane. I don't rate that Spurs side. Sorry, I don't rate it. I mean, the front three is pretty good, but I just wonder what's happened to their midfield really and their fullbacks. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I think they're primed to be beat. We'll see. North London derby can be a great leveler though. I just think they look weak in the midfield and weak at the back, but we'll see. Arsenal quite steady. Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, very good. Odegaard, Partey, Xhaka, very good. Saka, Nketiah, Martinelli. Okay, they've got Nketiah up front, but Jesus isn't fit at the moment. But look, I did the video on Mudryk today. You look at the benches of both teams. Tierney, Smith Rowe, Holding, Tomiyasu, Vieira, Lokonga, Marquinhos, Turner, Smith. It's not the bench of a Chelsea. It's not the bench of a Man City. Arsenal really are going to struggle for depth if they pick up any more injuries. That is something I know Arsenal fans are worried about. Spurs bench, Skip, Davinson Sanchez, Richarlison, good player to have on the bench, Emerson Royale, Gill, Perisic, Forster, Davies, Basuma. So you could probably say that Spurs bench is better than Arsenal's starting 11. But, no, sorry, that's not right. I'd say, oh God, no, I don't mean that. What I mean is, Spurs bench, I believe, is better than Arsenal's bench, but Arsenal's starting 11 is better than Spurs, in my humble opinion. So apologies for that. I don't mean that. Yeah, so look, it's going to be very interesting. I'm very much looking forward to it. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. Clip it and cancel him now, says Griff. Yeah, it probably will get clipped, because out of context is the only way people seem to be able to get at me these days. But talking of which, I'm going to have a bit of a rant on the United Stand show tonight about this bollocks about David De Gea, but we'll leave that for someone else. Poor Spence ain't going to get no minutes. Yeah, well, the thing about Jed Spence is I think there was talk of him going on loan and Spurs have said no, but he can't even get on the bloody bench. It's weird. So I'm going to go with Spurs to win this. No, I'm not going to go with Spurs to win this. There's something inside of me telling me that Spurs are a good side. Someone needs to tell them. Yeah, I think Spurs will not get the result. I think Arsenal will get the result today. But I think it's going to be an interesting game. And I think, as I say, you look at that league table, which will go around in a minute, and I think... in fact, I'll put it on the screen for you because I like to talk and know that you're on the same page as me. So let me just pop it on here for a minute and pause it. So I look at that Premier League table at the moment, and obviously Chelsea and Newcastle have played, and both of them have won. even when they win, Chelsea still are in 10th place because everybody's winning, aren't they? Brighton won, Brentford won, Fulham didn't win. I think Fulham and Liverpool are the only teams who didn't win in the top 4. Oh, and Man City. Forgot about Man City. Was it offside? Of course it was. But do I care? No, Arsenal 5 points clear of Manchester City at the moment. 6 points clear of Manchester United and Newcastle. Obviously, before this game kicks off, they've got 2 games in hand on Newcastle, so I don't think they'd be worrying about them. 5 wins in a row for Arsenal before the draw against Newcastle, of course. But Newcastle's run's fantastic. Newcastle have got the best last 6 games in the league. Unbeaten, 4 wins and 2 draws. Unbelievable, really. And Manchester United, obviously in 38 points. Spurs, that gap is starting to open up, isn't it? That's what I wanted to have a look at. 38 points for 4th place to 5 points. Spurs. They won't want that to be getting any bigger. And then you've got a real drift there. I mean, the top 4 at the moment, they're looking pretty good for top 4. I mean, I think Arsenal have got it nailed down. Man City have got it nailed down. But Newcastle and Manchester United are looking pretty strong at the moment. 38 points with a 5-point gap to 5th place. And if Tottenham don't win today, I mean, that just solidifies it. Liverpool and Chelsea in 9th and 10th as well after 18 games and 19 games respectively. That's no messing about. I mean, you'd expect Chelsea and Liverpool to get themselves into 6th and 7th soon, and maybe they can push for 5th with Spurs. But those results for Chelsea and Newcastle were massive 1-0 wins. But the race for the top 4, you could get cut adrift very, very quickly if you're not careful. So, interesting. First super chat of the evening or the afternoon comes from Zane. Surprise, surprise. Come on, you Gunners. We are winning the league, unlike United, whose only cups will be beating us and City. We've already got the cup then, haven't we? Because we've already beat you once. I mean, look, for me, I've got no interest in Arsenal, with all due respect, other than this game. A lot of people are talking about Manchester United and the game that we've got coming up against Arsenal next weekend. But we've got Crystal Palace midweek. I couldn't give a toss about Arsenal at the moment. I think that they have had a very, very good season, but they're not our priority at the moment. You know, you're not that important, Zane. And I wouldn't put Man United in a title race as well. What Man United do and what Ten Hag has done really, really well is we take it each game at a time, because you never know what's coming. You know, I saw something that if Casemiro gets booked against Crystal Palace, he can't play against Arsenal. I think that would make Arsenal massive favourites. I think they're favourites anyway, but I think they'd be massive favourites if we haven't got Casemiro. What if you pick up an injury against Crystal Palace? What if it's true that if Saka gets or Saliba gets a yellow card today, they're out of the Manchester United game? So you've got to take every game at a time. And I don't know many Arsenal fans that are thinking about Manchester United at the moment. This is the biggest game for them, and they have to try and get a result in it against Spurs, their biggest rivals. Would you take Tyler Adams in exchange for either Fred or McTominay? Says Chish. 100%. 100%. I'd take him over McTominay easily. I'd take Tony Adams over McTominay at the moment. And I'd take him over Fred because he's... Fred's what? Well, no, Fred's a good option to have, but I still think Fred can have a great game like yesterday and have a really crap game 2 or 3 in a row. So, and also Fred's 30 now, so I think you've got to start looking for the future as well. But Fred for Tyler Adams would be a harder one, but I do think his ceiling is really high, and obviously being a young player, I think that's what Manchester United need. But Fred would be the more debatable one, I think. Yeah, I like Tyler Adams, and there's a lot of people in the chat. They're just fair weather fans. They just go along with whatever's on the headlines. Fred played really well yesterday, but he hasn't done enough for me that I'd want to keep him for another year. I look at the last 4 years, and I think he's quite inconsistent. He's a good bench player to have, but we need to upgrade. So one of Fred and McTominay have got to go, and I don't think we'll sell McTominay. So if it has to be Fred to bring another midfielder in, then that's the upgrade we have to do. I'd rather it be McTominay, but I just don't see United moving McTominay on. Do you think Arsenal have the depth to win the Premier League currently, says Jalla? No, not really. Well, no, I mean, what I would say about Arsenal is they are 5 points clear of Manchester City. If they win today, they're 8 points clear of Manchester City. And they've got to play Man City home and away. And they could lose both those games. So that would be 6 points cut away. And then it's down to 2 points. So that's always the fear, isn't it? I mean, Pep's not writing that title off at all. They can still win this title. I would marginally say Man City are still favourites to win the title, even though they lost yesterday, because the gap that Arsenal have is big. And I was speaking to an Arsenal fan a couple of weeks ago, and it opened my eyes. They said, the problem is, this gap we've got, everyone's going, oh, Arsenal this, Arsenal that. We haven't played Man City, and we don't know what we're like against Man City. And we really wished we could have played Man City back in the autumn when it got postponed, because we were in a good place then. When we play Man City twice, will we have everybody back? Will we have a couple of injuries? Will Man City be in form? They're not in form at the moment. So if they beat us home and away, that's a 6-point gap gone. And then it's suddenly pressure time, isn't it? So Arsenal fans aren't really, overly confident at the moment, because there's still a long way to go. We're not halfway through this Premier League season yet as well, which is weird for people to get their head around. But I look at that Arsenal side, and I think it's a good side. I mean, Nketiah's a weak link. I don't care what anybody says. He's not Jesus. And you go to the bench, and I look at Arsenal and I go, they've got a very good first 11, best 11 in the Premier League this year. Now, everyone knows that. But on the bench, Smith Rowe back is a boost. Holding's average. Tomiyasu's okay. Tierney's a good player. Lokonga's okay. Vieira's okay. Marquinhos is okay. Turner and Smith. It's just not enough. That is not enough in a season like this, unfortunately. So they've got to get that Mudryk money and spend it, because they need a little bit more. But you know what? I've been saying this about Man United. I worry about United because I don't think we've got the depth either. So I might be completely wrong. Maybe Arsenal and Man United will defy logic, not pick up many injuries. Players will come in for them like Nketiah, score the goals. I've seen Liverpool do it before. Not this season, but they lose a Van Dijk or they lose a Salah for a couple of games, or the African nations, and you think they're going to drop a load of points, and they'll grind out 2 or 3 wins without those players. And that's what you got to do. When you haven't got your best players available, you've got to find a way to grind a way out. And one thing that Arsenal do have is a system, a team, and Manchester United have it as well. So, Fred came in for Man United yesterday and was fantastic. He's not really a starter. It's normally Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno, but he came in yesterday. He was better than Eriksen. And it was a fantastic result for Manchester United. Because there's a system in place, there's a coach. And Arteta's got that at Arsenal. So, Arsenal's form without Jesus isn't that bad. The HPN says, would you sack Conte? I sort of want to do a poll here. Would you keep Conte after this summer is what I'm going to say. Because I think that next year, let's say that. Would you keep Conte next year? I think that's a good question to ask, and then we'll talk about that. So get involved. Hi, Mark. Can you say happy birthday to my friend Connor? No, Connor's the person asking. BD is the happy birthday. So there you go. Interesting enough, according to XG stats, Manchester United averaged 2.37 goals expected against the top 6 and 2.95 against the bottom 6. United struggles creating against mid-table teams with a 1.17 XG. Billy, that's really interesting. But who is a mid-table team this year? It's very hard to say who a mid-table team is, because if you're going down to Chelsea, are they a mid-table team? Well, they are 10th, but Chelsea are going to go up. Liverpool are going to go up. So I'd say Chelsea and Liverpool are both teams that are trying to get high into the top 7 or 6 for Europe. So I wouldn't say Liverpool and Chelsea are mid-table teams. Brentford, you can't call them mid-table, or Fulham or Brighton, because they're in 8th, 7th and 6th. And then from 13th place, I think you've got Forest all the way down to the bottom. They're relegation teams. So really, there's only 2 teams I'd class as mid-table at the moment, which is Villa with 25 points and maybe Crystal Palace with 22. But Palace look like they're getting sucked down. So I'd say the only real mid-table team at the moment is, to me, is Aston Villa. But players are in the tunnel here. Looking forward to this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right hand corner to do that. Get involved with That's Football. You're all really welcome. George Lucas has given us a super chat. You can do that through the $sign. He says, I really think James Ward-Prowse would be great signing for United. Not to start every game, but would be effective in rotation with Eriksen and could bring good leadership too, says George. I think he's about 28 now. I think if Southampton go down, he'll definitely move. Conte will leave by himself. He never stays, says Grand. Just to answer the Conte question, 57% say he should stay next year. I think if Spurs don't do anything this year and they get knocked out... if Spurs don't get top 4 and they don't win anything, I think Conte will go because Kane's going to go. Kane's going. So, yeah, I think it could be a season of disruption for Spurs if things don't go well. Can Spurs get top four? They've done it before. I just don't see a rhythm with Spurs this year. I don't see a rhythm. What's your plans in the January transfer window as well? Because Kulusevski and Bentancur made such a difference last year. Have you got something like that up your sleeve? Because I think you need it. Mark, I'm dating myself with this comment, but United feel like this Major League, they are winning despite the incompetence of the board, says Anthony Johnson. Okay. A few people have mentioned that. What do you think about the offside from yesterday, Mark? Well, I didn't want to say anything about it yesterday because I wanted to enjoy the win. But I've had so many messages. Even my dad, who's a Chelsea fan, messaged me and said it's disgusting. Like that's. He said I wanted you to win because I know you support United. I've got no love for City, but that was disgusting. That offside decision was so wrong. I have to stop myself from laughing. I'll take it. I'll take it every day of the week. I was over the moon with it. I really, really was. But if you saw my reaction, I was trying to hope that we were going to get a goal. I was going, oh, Rashford didn't touch it. But if that happens the other way, you wouldn't shut me up until next Friday. I'd be writing letters to my local MP. I'd be disgusted because there's absolutely no... I mean, there's that game of curling. They play it in Scotland where you bowl something on some ice and then they're all polishing the ice in front of it. It looks like I'm polishing something else. But yeah, they're doing that to make the ball move. And that they can't touch it, but they're trying to make it move. And it was like that with Rashford yesterday. He was like shielding the ball so it could go to Bruno. I mean, he's totally interfering with play. I don't know whether technically the referee and the linesman and VAR got it right. They probably need to change the rule. And hopefully that will change the rule. But I don't know whether technically it was offside. Maybe it wasn't. But it should be offside in the future. Just after yesterday. Let's put it this way. Hopefully Manchester United have highlighted a loophole in the law and they can change it. Because Man City fans moan. I've been meaning to say this. Was it against Aston Villa a couple of years ago? Man City were playing Aston Villa. And there was some weird thing that they changed the rule afterwards. I think it was like the Man City player was in an offside position. It hit Tyrone Mings or something, and then they went and scored. And it was a stupid loophole in the rule, and they changed it after that. So Man City can moan, but I remember that one very vaguely. I'm a Newcastle fan, and I think Man United may finish ahead of us because we have had too many draws, especially at home, and we lack creativity. Well, it was sad to see Bruno Guimaraes going off. At the moment, fingers crossed, it's not been too bad for Manchester United and maybe Arsenal as well. I mean, Jesus was a bad injury in the World Cup. We've had Donny out for the season, but I look at Bruno Guimaraes being injured for Newcastle, and if he's out for a long period of time, that's significant. You look at Chelsea's injury record, they're significant. Obviously, Liverpool have lost Van Dijk, so it's not... I talk about it a lot on the United Stand about how this season will be very difficult if you pick up injuries, but it's also a case of luck, isn't it? Who's going to pick up those injuries? Chelsea are trying to beat financial fair play by giving extra long contracts, 8.5 years for Mudryk, 7.5 for Badil. Massive risk if it doesn't come off. Can't shift them, says Elliot. Yeah, but there's always a loophole, and Chelsea seem to have found it straight away, don't they? They do. But yeah, look, a lot of people talking about the offside from yesterday. It's over. The history books say Man United won, and I'm very, very happy about that. But I agree with what Ten Hag said. If it happens against you, you're furious. And there's absolutely no way that if you take Rashford out of the equation, Bruno's not tapping that in. Ederson's going to make a different run. Akanji's going to get there. I think it's Kyle Walker on his shoulder. He'd probably catch him. Marcus Rashford puts everybody off. But that's not United's fault. It's not Rashford's fault. It's not Bruno's fault. People seem to forget that equalised the game. We then scored a legit goal to win the game. That's a mentality shift, So, look, it is what it is. It was controversial, but I think we deserve the win in the end. Anyway, let's hope we don't get any... let's not hope. It's always good when you get a bit of controversy. I don't give a shit. Let's see what happens in this game. We're ready to go. Make sure you smash a like on the video and get ready to go. I have got a timer for you. Let's get ready to rumble, everybody. Let's get ready to rumble. Just waiting for Arsenal to kick off. So I'm going to go Arsenal to win 3-1. Yeah, I think Arsenal are too strong for Spurs, in my opinion. So let me know what you think in the chat. Hope Pay and Display FC get absolutely hammered today, says Salim. Love from New Zealand, score prediction, come on Arsenal, says It's Liv, just done that. How are you after Atwell saved United yesterday, says Captain Monopoly. Mate, I couldn't care. I couldn't care. You know, one thing about football is there's a bad decision coming your way around the corner. You know, it will definitely happen and we'll get no sympathy at all. I don't see City fans say about Rodri's handball goal either, says Gazzy. And I mean, we had I can't remember the team it was against now. Might have been, who was it against when Sancho got fouled in the box blatantly? Never didn't get given. Even VAR didn't give it. I think that was this season. But look, it's a derby. I don't rate Spurs back five, but it's a derby and they're at home. So, you know, in many ways, this could be similar to Manchester United against City yesterday. City come to Old Trafford, the better team, the better manager, the better system. And I don't mean that, you know, I mean that. Like, this season, you would always say that Pep is a better manager than everybody in the league. So they came to Old Trafford as the better side in many ways. Not the better form team, but the better side. And Man United had an amazing game plan to get the result and deserved it. So same for Spurs here. Arsenal come as the better side. Have Spurs got a game plan in a derby at home? You would hope so. What more motivation do you need? Play to the whistle, says Shane P. Yeah, let's do it. Love the content, bro, says O'Neill. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. I've really enjoyed recently, actually. I've been uploading like on a regular, but much more regular basis, one a day, because there's so much to talk about, isn't there? You know, Liverpool in crisis, Chelsea in crisis, Chelsea nicking players from Arsenal, you know, one hand on the trophy. There's so much to talk about at the moment. I really do think it's a fantastic Premier League season, and especially after all those COVID years and, you know, we've had some boring years. It's just great. The relegation battle. I mean, we've got, as I said, at the moment, there is only one mid-table team. Technically, it's Villa. They're not in the race for the top and they're not in the relegation battle. Everybody else is involved in something. But we are only halfway through the season. In fact, we're not until next game week. So, steady start here. First 2.5 minutes. Each team sort of feeling themselves out. Oh, I forgot to say, I've got the green screen back. First green screen appearance of 2023. I will still be using my real background, but just for watch-alongs, I think it just works better with. I'm very narrow for that setup, so I quite like the green screen for the watch-alongs. But nice ball over the top there, but comfortably defended by Saliba. Spurs looking to engage a high press in the first few minutes. You've got to do that as the home team. I believe now Newcastle will get European football, says Dan. Fantastic win for Newcastle. It looked like they were going to draw against Fulham. And they drew against Leeds, didn't they, recently? And I think that's Newcastle's problem, isn't it? Beating those teams that people expect them to beat. But you know, in the context of the Premier League, it's, you know, you've got to be beating Fulham and Leeds at home if you want to get top four. But Fulham and Leeds are good sides. I know Leeds are in a relegation battle, but they're a dangerous side. Good play by Harry Kane here. He's got to switch that, and he switches it beautifully. Nice ball into Sessegnon. He's got a bit of space. He needs options. He's going to go for it. It's a terrible cross. It's really poor, but it will end up being a corner for Spurs here. No, it won't. It'll be a throw-in. Yeah, so it was a very good win for Newcastle because you've got to start, you know, bringing them points home. Rayan says, who do you think is going to win the league? I think it really does depend on what happens in this game today and then what happens in the Man United game next week. because Man City are playing Spurs on Thursday, and I think they'll win. And then they're playing Wolves. They've got 2 home games, really. And that'll give them a game in hand on Arsenal. So if Arsenal keep winning, it just gives them that bit of momentum. Now, interestingly enough, it's when Arsenal are going to play Man City that sort of pricks my ears up a little bit. They're playing on Wednesday the 15th of February, which is not too far away. And what Arsenal need to do is keep them at arm's length for that, which, you know, that's their job. That's what they've got to do. They've got to just keep themselves in that position ahead of that game against against Man City. And now a lot of people are saying, well, when's their second game against Man City? I don't think it's till April, you know. Let's have a look. And it could get changed then. Arsenal, when are they playing Man? Actually, I think it's May. Weird, isn't it? Actually, I've got no idea when Arsenal are playing Man City the second game. They've got one on the 15th of Feb, and then I don't know when the other one is. '26th of April. Okay. So quite a steady start in the first 7 minutes here. That's a bad kick out though. Arsenal are in. He's in. He's got to take this. Nketiah. Great save by Lloris. It was in the air. He knew he was going to get a shot off. But he didn't quite look like he was comfortable there. Now, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I take it Nketiah is right-footed, because that was not a clean hit on your left foot when it's bouncing in front of you and you've got time to volley it. Should be 1-0, says Death Baines, and I completely agree with you there. It's bounced in front of him, and he's got to do a little bit better than that, in my opinion. They'll show the replay now. It's poor by our Spurs at the back. I think it's Longley. It's a really poor clearance. It bounces back. Nice little flick. Doherty slips. He's on his left. Yeah, he never makes good connection with that. He's got loads of time. Left foot, poor. If that's on his right foot, it's probably 1-0 to Arsenal. He's just he's not taken advantage of that. Arteta doesn't look very happy. Yeah, he could have done a lot better there. Here's Son though on the break. Arsenal looking the more dangerous team. Good play by Nketiah here. Yeah, he's definitely right-footed. Just seen him control and lay it off. Nice ball into Saka. Got a bit of space. Got an overlap from Ben White as well. Uses it. Ben White puts a dinky cross in. Not very good. Not very good. It wasn't very good. Oh, you know, somebody just said there, the only reason Liverpool fans want Arsenal to win is they don't want Man United winning the title. I'd be the same. We have a huge rivalry, so, you know, no worries with that. But it's a weird season, because I think yesterday there's a lot of Arsenal fans that wanted United to get a result, maybe a draw, but they didn't want Man City to win. You know, I would like Arsenal to win the league. I don't think United can. Obviously, I want us to, but I don't think we can. I wouldn't put us in a title race yet. But yeah, I'd like Arsenal to win the league. So, but then today I'd like Spurs to win, just in case we've got a chance of winning the league. It's really interesting, isn't it? The normal rivalries are all over the place, because every week there's a different permutation. Nick P says, I had an argument today with someone claiming the ref loves us. You can't win as a United fan. We're bantered about hanging on to past glories, yet the refs love us. Even though we haven't been relevant since the 90s, says Nick P. Oh, yeah, but that's Pep Guardiola, doesn't? That's Pep. Well, we know where we are at Old Trafford. I mean, I was on Talk Sport last night and we had a lad called Hassan come on saying, this happens to us every year. We get scammed at Old Trafford. And I'm like, look, I brain dump bad results, but I'm pretty sure Man City beat us at Old Trafford last year. Well, they did. They beat us 2-0, didn't they? Because we'd just lost to Liverpool a couple of weeks before. Year before that, did they beat us? Maybe they didn't because that was the COVID year. But they've not got a bad record at Old Trafford. If Arsenal make Champions League, how far do you think they'll go, says Sam? Oh, come on. Irrelevant question. We're in a North London derby and Arsenal won't be thinking about the Champions League next year. And also, who are they going to buy in the summer? There's loads of things that could happen. Nice cross in by Odegaard and a header by Gabriel. No, not Gabriel. It was Partey. I don't know whether he should have done a bit better here. It might have just been a bit high for him to get over it. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's probably a little bit high. No downward connection with that. So 10 minutes gone, 0-0. Arsenal will be pretty happy here. Spurs not really offering anything. Not unusual. Foul on Højbjerg. Assassin X says Spurs are looking a bit scared. I don't think they're looking a bit scared, mate. I just think this is Spurs. Welcome to Spurs. They're a bit of a hard watch, to be honest. Ramsdale kick off his line there from a quick free kick from Spurs. I mean, if I had money and I was in charge of Spurs, there's just so many changes I'd make. You need 2 good full-backs. I think you need another midfielder. You certainly need a couple of centre-backs. Nice interception here. Terrible ball. He's going to give a yellow card. You should be booking him, really. Romero's right. That's a yellow card, ref. He's bottled that. Romero, they're on a bit of a break. It's a yellow card, isn't it? Thomas Partey stuck his hand out. That's a yellow. That's shit refereeing, really. I don't understand why he wouldn't give a booking for a deliberate handball. Odd. Is Partey the best CDM in the league right now? Says it's Lou. Not for me. But I don't watch Arsenal every week. I watch Casemiro and he's flawless. So yeah, I think that should have been a yellow card there in any game. I do like referees who let things go in a derby, but he stuck his hand out to stop a Spurs break. It's a yellow. Don't care whether you're wearing a Spurs shirt or an Arsenal shirt. It's 100% a yellow card. A bit of a weird. Yeah. And I think that's what annoys people, isn't it? I mean, Arsenal will be a bit like us yesterday. You get away with it, don't you? We got away with it with the offside, I think. But consistency is why there's always a problem, because that is a yellow card decision and he's decided not to give it. Niall says, Niall, welcome to the Members Club. Tom says, the similarities between Mudryk to Chelsea and Gakpo to Liverpool is hilarious. Arsenal feel our pain, says Tom Evans. The standard of refereeing is shit in the Premier League, though. I mean, regardless of what happened yesterday, it is shocking because nobody's consistent. Surely when you've got VAR, consistency should go up, and it's actually gone down. Good tackle there by Sessegnon on Saka. Brings it forward. Harry Kane looks for the diagonal. Zinchenko will be fine getting that. I mean, it's a good Spurs front three, though. It's not been that often in the last few weeks that they've been playing Son, Kulusevski and Kane and Richarlison on the bench. I'm tired. I had a terrible night's sleep last night. I was falling asleep. Harry Kane. No, he's lost it. I was falling asleep. I mean, there's a lot going on yesterday. Fantastic result. Dinner time. Had a few drinks. Was on Talk Sport doing my show. So, got into bed about... Saka! Oh my God. Lloris is rubbish. Lloris is absolutely rubbish. It's 1-0 to Arsenal. He's absolutely shit. I mean, he's just gifted a goal. He's just gifted Arsenal a goal. You talk about gifts in a derby that you just cannot do. Saka scores. He's basically in behind. He won't be offside. You can see that. He's in behind on the right wing. Nowhere to go, really. Attacks the byline. Whips a cross in. Oh my God, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. The cross comes in from Saka. If he puts a good cross in, it doesn't go in. It's a poor cross by Saka because it's straight at the keeper. It gets a bit of a deflection. Straight at the keeper. And he's palmed it into his own goal. I mean, someone check his bank account. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Game over, says Prince. Well, for Arsenal, it's a massive... I mean, you probably get one of those every 3 seasons. To get it in a derby of this magnitude, you don't see goals like that. You don't see goals like that. That's, you know, we had one happen against us a couple of weeks ago with De Gea where it got stuck in his feet. That's worse, what Lloris has done, because that's your hands, mate. You're a goalkeeper. It's straight at him. He's on his front post. It's all right, it's took a deflection a little bit. And he's just... That's terrible, that is. That is absolutely terrible. For a championship goalkeeper to do that, it would be a... You know, Butterfingers is right, Tom. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. So Spurs are 1-0 down now. And they've gifted Arsenal a goal. Yeah, well, there you go. He cinched it. It's only because I can see the advertising board there. Well, they're going to need to wake up a little bit now, Arsenal. Zayn Miasi's happy. There's a goal there. But this is why defensive football can get you into trouble. Because if a team's attacking, you can't get a bit of luck in the box if you're not in the box. And Spurs haven't been in the box. Making sure they go behind so they can win, says Joshua Bowwater. Lloris is too busy thinking about retirement, says Andrew. And what's your thoughts on Chelsea winning? Do you think they can come back, says Gary. I think it's a long way back. Jerry says it's the history of Tottenham. Front post glitch, says Mad Bro. Yeah, front post glitch. Hugo Clarius. Yeah, you can't be... I mean, look, there's not a lot you can say, is there? There's not a lot you can say. It's just... Arsenal have had a free goal without having to work for it. Spurs have given a goal up. But if you're not on the attack, you're not going to get any luck. And Spurs can't get near Arsenal's box. Until now. Sessegnon's in the box. Son! Good save, Ramsdale. Well, there was a chance for Spurs. Much better. Much better. Can they keep a bit of momentum here? The crowd will want it. People are saying game over. It's not game over. It's a North London derby and it's at Spurs. There'll be plenty left in this. You must choose one of these keepers to be your club's keeper. Who do you choose, Lloris or Kepa? I'd probably go Lloris. I think Kepa's dreadful. Dracula. At least Lloris tried to get his hand on a cross. Plenty of time left anyway. Plenty of time left. Front post glitches real, says Omka. Thank you very much. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Sneak. What is Sneak? Sneak energy drinks delivered to your door, low calorie, sugar free. You can get the starter pack where you get one of these and 9 different sachets to try. I'm on the cherry bomb today. They do 40 serving tubs as well. They also do fizzy drinks. As I say, delivered to your door next day in the UK, but they do deliver worldwide. Please use the code SNEAKBRIDGE on anything you order. Really helps the channel out. What was I going to say? Some lovely flavours. I'm on the cherry bomb today. Blue raspberry, purple storm's got a very familiar flavour, but it's very nice. Electric mango, Tropicilla. Loads of lovely flavours. Check them out. Sneak Energy. Always put a bit of ice cubes in mine as well. I'll get through that in no time. As I said, I'm tired. I started watching the film at about 10:30 last night. Fell asleep within 10 minutes. Woke up about half an hour later and I was like, right, I'm going to go to sleep now. But then I thought, oh, I do need to go to the toilet. Got up and went to the toilet. Couldn't go back to sleep till about midnight. Should have just ignored the need to go to the toilet. Predictions for Liverpool, Chelsea and Man City Spurs, says Tiger Claws. Well, we're doing both those games as watch-alongs on this channel. Thursday night and then Saturday lunchtime. Man City will beat Spurs, and I think Liverpool-Chelsea could be a draw, the way Liverpool are playing at the moment. Arsenal are in again. Lovely cross by Nketiah. Have they got it out? Yes. Mark, do you think United should be looking at a player like Trossard for a short-term loan, Also, I generally wouldn't mind seeing Pickford relegated, says Julian. I heard Trossard might be going to Spurs, but I mean, Spurs don't need Trossard. How many more attackers do you need? You've got, it's not Spurs' problems ain't their attackers. It's getting the ball to them. Apparently something's happened with Peacock. I think Peacock is that a streaming service in America? I was trying to think of someone called Peacock. Come on, you Gunners, never mind the B-Tech Gilberto Silva at United. Partey is the man. Zane, you always set yourself up for a fall. You make me laugh. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Free to do it. With Sneak, you can scan the QR code with your phone, camera phone, or you can go through the link in the description. Arsenal doing all the pushing, even though they're 1-0 up. Ridiculous goal, by the way. If you're tuning in, ridiculous goal. A nothing cross from Saka, and Lloris palms it into his own goal under no pressure at all. He's made this job doubly hard for Spurs, and the Arsenal pressing game is working really well. I mean, from a United point of view, you can see what's going to happen at the Emirates next week. It's going to be very, very similar to this, isn't it? But I think United have got we're a better team than Spurs, so hopefully we can cause more problems. But I predicted an Arsenal win. I said 3-1, and at the moment I can't see anything. I mean, Spurs just aren't creating enough. Højbjerg went for a shot from distance. That sort of shows a bit of desperation from me. Arsenal can, of course, play the perfect away game now. Defend well and counter. But, to be fair, Lloris has caused them some problems here. Good shot, that, by Odegaard. I mean, it's a straightforward save for Lloris, but it's a very intelligent thing to do from Odegaard. Get a shot from distance against Lloris. That nearly goes in as well. I mean, the way he's dealt with that nearly goes in. Not good goalkeeping from Lloris. His head is not right, is it? I mean, the way he's palmed that, he's nearly palmed it in. It's not a good save. Corner to Arsenal. 22 minutes gone. If they get the second goal, I think it is game over. Headed away. Should have been a foul there, but referee lets it go. Gavin Peacock is not dead. It's Peacock, the streaming service, that's gone down. I think people are getting confused in the chat. Oh, it's back now, apparently. Well, Spurs were defending another long throw here from Arsenal, headed away by Harry Kane. It's a rearguard action. Happy says, apparently if Saliba or Saka get a yellow today, they are out of the United game. I heard that. I don't know whether it's true. If, maybe an Arsenal fan can confirm that, because they will know more than we know. But I did hear that that is the case. So let us know what you know about that. It is true, says Manuel. Thank you very much, mate. Well, Arsenal are running this game at the moment. I said running, not ruining it. Saka with another cross. Martinelli! Oh, what a bit of skill that was. Outside of his boot. Boom! Oh my God, we nearly scored. Oh my God. What? We nearly saw one of the goals of the season. Boom! Bosh! Back of the net, no. Post, yes. Thomas Partey scored some good goals this season. He has scored some good goals. He nearly scored goal of the season. Edge of the box. The volley is elite. Lloris is absolutely beaten at a full stretch dive. What a hit by Thomas Partey. And he nearly broke the post. That was wood. nearly shattered it. What a shot. That, I tell you what, you might not want Arsenal to win. I certainly don't as a United fan. I want to get close to them. I want to get close to you. But Peter Andre, classic. But there are goals. There are goals in games, and I think I wish that went in, because that was Tony Yeboah. That was taking me back to 90s style. That was absolutely... You want those to go in when they hit the post. Oh, absolutely incredible hit, but it didn't. Magnificent. And Arsenal, you know what? Elwick says Arsenal are brilliant. I mean, you know, I always forget that. Maybe not a lot of people are watching Arsenal, but they are very good. They're not there by chance. They're there by design. They are the best team in the league. That's why they are where they are. Mark, why don't you use the studio for United Watchalongs? Love the content, says Jason. Because I don't live in Manchester, so I don't really propose to drive 2 hours up to Manchester and sit 2 minutes away from Old Trafford to sit in a studio. If I'm going to drive up to Manchester, I think I'll go to the game myself. But and that's the honest answer there. There we go. Cross comes into the box. Arsenal are all over Spurs here at the moment. What a goal that would have been by Thomas Partey. I've played the game, and that would have been a great goal. Great goal. But it's not, and we carry on. Give me some of that sneak. Keep me awake. I've had a good 5 minutes there. See, I had a bit of it, and I had a good 5 minutes. Don't let the energy drop. Spurs are not a big club, says Maris. Hi Mark, can we do a poll on the best CDM, says Tom Grant? No, because although some people think that most people watching this are United fans, it's completely not true. You know, I did a video on Mudryk signing for Chelsea today and it had nearly 200,000 views. There's a lot of people who watch this channel who are not United fans, but I do think there would be a bit of bias towards Casemiro. So I try not to do those because it probably would happen, to be fair. Who needs Peacock when you've got MG? The OG here, says DC. Yeah, we'll keep you updated anyway. Thanks, pal. Thanks for the super chats. Arsenal are trying to finish this early, Joe. Well, Spurs are a bit on the ropes. Get those shots off. Thomas Partey, what a hit it was. But I don't see anything different from Spurs here at the moment. You know, this I found Spurs very, very good. Speedy's got a question about food, which I do like. What do you put on your beans? Hi Mark, what do you put on your beans on toast? Says Speedy. Oh, well, you know, sometimes I put crisps. A bit of cheese. But in the last couple of years, I've really got into crisps on beans on toast. Just gives a nice texture. You know, depends on the day. If it's the start of the week and I need a little bit of, you know, excitement, I'll put a bag of prawn cocktails on. If it's end of the week and I'm just a bit tired and, you know, I'm just looking for a bit of food, I might just go ready salted. But yeah, I put Doritos on them the other day. Got my bag of Doritos, tangy cheese. Didn't need to put cheese on. Just opened the packet, crushed it all up, put it on the top. Lovely, lovely. How are Spurs part of the Big Six? Says Ahmed. Yeah, going back to Spurs. Look, I watch a lot of football, as you know, and I can have an opinion on anybody. It doesn't mean I'm right. I think Lampard needs to be sacked by Everton. I think it's inevitable and you need to do it. Here's Saka on the break again. He's having a good game. He's having a very good game, and he puts a shot in and it's headed away. Last season, from January to the end of the season, Spurs got top four and they were brilliant. I think Kulusevski, Son and Kane scored more goals from January to May than any other team. Front three. They were brilliant. And you thought, oh, maybe Spurs are turning a tide. And then this season, they've been consistently boring. They're not that team anymore. And yet they've got the same players and the same manager. I'd find that massively frustrating. I remember watching them play again. I think it was a league game. I did a watch along. They played Forest. Maybe it was right near the start of the season. And they just countered. They're just really really boring, actually. I think they lack a number 10. They don't play with a number 10. Harry Kane sort of can do the job, dropping off, but they lack a number 10. you know, their midfielders are very, you know, workmen. Then they've got a back five with full backs that really, that, you know, it's all right playing a back five if you've got someone like Reece James who gets forward, but their back five are basically defenders, and then they've got two midfielders who are basically defenders, and then three forwards. There's no creativity in that Spurs side. There's no intent. Crisps on beans on toast. What's wrong with you, says Sam? Oh, next you'll be telling you it's next. You'll be one of these lot who say it's wrong to brush. They brush their teeth with cold water. I've had that chat during the World Cup. I can't believe people brush their teeth with cold water. Do you wash your hair with cold water? Do you wash your hands with cold water? Do you want to get a stain out? Do you use cold water? So why do you brush your teeth with cold water? Warm water. Who's your least favourite Sky Sports pundit, says Suhab? Well, I think they're all capable of talking nonsense. Thing is, I like Souness. I played the game. I think sometimes he talks good stuff, Souness. Unfortunately, he's riddled with bitterness. But I do like some of his stuff. Mark, I'm Salvadorian. Try chicharan with your beans. Trust me, it will change your life. Still buzzing about yesterday, says Christian. Well, I didn't think we'd end up having a chat about beans on toast, but here's a little bit of a cheat for you, and it's nice. If you like peanut butter, it's nice. So I was at work one day, and I don't like people like this. They make themselves beans on toast at work. I'm like, you're not at fucking home now. Beans on toast at work. Go down to Sainsbury's and get yourself a sandwich, or bring a sandwich in. Don't start cooking in work's time. You're not. What are you going to do next? Put your pyjamas on and watch Neighbours? Making beans on toast at... Well, we've got a microwave. Jargon. Anyway, I liked this guy. He did make some beans on toast, and I must admit, it irritated me. So I did what I sometimes do. I'll make a joke of it and went, "Oh, beans on toast at work. Do you just have it with beans on toast?" And he took it up as I was actually being genuine when I actually was trying to take the piss. And he said, "No, it's not just beans on toast. I don't butter my toast. I put peanut butter on." Well, I said, "Well, you do butter it because it's called peanut butter, but you just use peanut butter instead of butter." Yeah. And I said, "That sounds really interesting." So at the weekend, I was having beans on toast. I used peanut butter instead of butter. I didn't think it was going to work. It worked for me. Peanut butter instead of butter, and then put your beans on the top. I know. People are saying it's grim, but it works if you like peanut butter. If anyone else has got any recommendations like that, let us know. Anyway, we are watching a North London derby here, and it's not because it's boring that we're talking about peanut butter on toast with beans. It's because Arsenal are dominating and Spurs are not at the moment. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. I was going to have a look at what we're looking at on subscribers because we're definitely not on 873. We're only 200 away from 877,000. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. The game has been halted after the ball from Kane's penalty miss has finally landed, says Elwicks. If it's one thing we can take away from today is that you're weird, Mark, but we love you. Free the beans, says Michael T. Everybody has different tastes. I mean, I know I had a family relation, they're not anymore, and it wasn't because of this, who likes ketchup on their Sunday dinner. I mean, that's just, get out. If I cooked that Sunday dinner and they put ketchup on it, they'd be wearing ketchup over their hair as well. I'd be like, get in a shower. Disgust me. You disgust me. Putting ketchup on your Sunday dinner. You absolute criminal. You should be locked up for life with no bail. Disgusting. Ketchup on a Sunday dinner. Anyway, can Spurs find a way back into this game? Nutella and beans on toast. Ooh, hopefully it's a cold shower, says Christian. Mark, how many football games have you been to? Yeah, I'm not sad. I don't count them, mate. You can have mustard with a roast dinner. That's not odd. If you're having roast beef, English mustard or French mustard or that grainy mustard, absolutely fine. I used to love French mustard when I was a kid. Coleman's French mustard. That's the tangy one, isn't it? The yellow one is the English mustard. That's the one, if you put a spoon of it in your mouth, you'll know about it. I used to love that. French mustard. Here we go. Oh, no. Loris is off his line. Scooby-Doo. Someone I know mixed ketchup and pancakes, says Jack. Salad cream sandwiches. Peanut butter and jelly. Don't Americans eat that? I mean, I don't want to be stereotypical, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a few sitcoms from America where they eat that. Odegaard with the shot. What a goal! It's 2-0 to Arsenal. Lloris is beaten again. He shouldn't be beaten from there. He has been beaten from there. Arsenal are 2-0 up and Spurs are being swept aside. And I think in a game of this magnitude, when you are getting beaten like this comfortably, Conte's got to go. You know, he's got to go. Where is this team going? Where is it heading? It's heading nowhere. It's a despicable performance from Spurs. 2-0 Arsenal. Despicable. Lloris at fault again. It's terrible. He should not get beat from there. It's a good finish. He's hit it well. I'm looking at it, Odegaard. He's hit it well. He's used the defender. But that is... it's only what Arsenal deserve. I'm not going to lie about it. 2-0. Did you see Everett singing Don't Look Back in Anger yesterday, says Daniel White? It's made that win much more sweeter and I'm still buzzing, says Daniel. Do you only ever place any bets at the bookie, says Gaz? I haven't placed any for ages, mate, to be fair. Spurs are so bad, says Back says that they're going to win the title. Arsenal are really winning the league, says Tim. And can't get beat from there, says Dylan. And Spurs are horrendous. Absolutely shite. We're winning the league, says Zane. I'll tell you what, Arsenal fans. I said it before this game, so it's not like I'm changing. I said if you beat Spurs and you beat United, how do you not win this title? Because if you beat Spurs away and you beat United, all right, you've got to play Man City home and away, but where are the games you're going to lose? You start to look at the league and you start to tick them off. Where are these games you're going to lose if you can go and beat Spurs and United? And look, you know what? They should have beat us at Old Trafford. Arsenal are the best team we've played at Old Trafford, 100%. Arsenal are the best team we've played at Old Trafford this season. Even though we beat them, they're the best team. They played really, really well, and you know, we got a good result. So, where are these results that Arsenal are going to lose? I know a few Arsenal fans, and I know I'd be the same. They're very much, look, we're not even halfway through the season yet. And it is difficult. This solidifies Man United for top four, says Sam. Yeah. It's a weird one for United fans, this, because Arsenal beating Spurs gives us a bigger chance of top four. But obviously Arsenal not winning gives us a chance of the title. Realistically, we're not going to win the title. So, you know, maybe this is quite good from a top four point of view. But you want to dream. Peanut butter, jam, sliced cheese, fried egg sandwich, says Johan. I just think I just threw up. Yeah, so, yeah, going back to what we were talking about Arsenal there, it's only what they deserve. They're a very, very good side. I think they've almost shocked many of their fans that they're in a title race. But you're in it. And the only thing I would say about Arsenal is, yes, they've got those 2 games against Man City to play. And that could be 6 points dropped. But having said that, the way Arsenal are playing at the moment, it's a bit disrespectful to think that. And second of all, football is very difficult. I remember when United used to win titles, and I'm sure there's some Arsenal fans who remember this as well. Doesn't matter how good you are, when you are 5 games to go and you're 5 points clear, it's like you're playing Real Madrid every week. Even though you might be playing Fulham at home, Forest away, it's like you're playing Real Madrid every week, because the nerves, the mental battle, that is something that Arsenal will have to go through. And they might be absolutely fine with it. You don't know. But it is difficult when you've not won a title for a long time and you've got a bit of, you know, there's somebody ready to pounce behind you and you're the favourites. It can be difficult. But we might not see that. We might not see that at all. Arsenal might be 10 points clear with 5 games to go, in which case no one's going to stop them. It's just, can anybody put any pressure on Arsenal? And the honest answer is, I'm not so sure. I was speaking to an Arsenal fan on Talk Sport last night, and they were fearful because of what Newcastle did to them, and I was like, but in the first 10 minutes, you absolutely battered Spurs. You could have been 2-0 up. Newcastle grew into the game, but yeah, Arsenal are doing very well, very, very well. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're only 100 away from 877,000 on the road to 900k. Get involved. You're all welcome here on That's Football. But I've predicted that City will win the league all year. I think at the moment I can keep that prediction. I can, because that's my prediction. But today, I think Arsenal are favourites to win the league. It's obvious to me. The only thing I would say is we're not halfway through the league yet, so there are still another 57 points to play for. But Spurs are shite. What? Speak to me, Spurs fans. We're talking about Arsenal winning the league here. Arsenal winning the league. Your biggest rival at your ground. What's going on? What is going on? Even if Arsenal are better than you, which they are, a derby is meant to be a great leveller. I remember years ago when Man City was shite and we used to play them, and sometimes they beat us. Like, where's the character? Where's the fight? Where's the desire? These players are shit. This team's rubbish. 41 minutes at home to Arsenal, and you're crap. Absolutely crap. Should United break the bank and attempt to sign Kane this window? It's a shame the owners wouldn't push that, says Pratt. Well, it wouldn't happen this window anyway. And United fans saying Arsenal are crumbling. United-Arsenal biggest match since Freddie versus Jason, says Zane. Mate, I'm not thinking about Arsenal. We've got Crystal Palace on Wednesday. That's our next game. Pochettino to Spurs, says DJ. I don't think it fits anymore for Conte. Free kick from Odegaard straight into the box. But having said that, you could easily say that this game should be 0-0 because Lloris has made 2 absolute clangers. But in the balance of play, probably not, because they've been the better side. I mean, look at that. Statistically, this is a home game for Spurs. 56% possession, 1 shot on goal. 56% possession for Arsenal, 1 shot from Spurs, 3 from Arsenal. They're absolutely dominating you. Absolutely dominating you. You can't argue with that. You can't. Oliver says he hates Conte. Well, hate's a strong word, mate, but I think it is coming towards the end. DCS says, do you think Arsenal and United should take it easy in the Europa League and focus on the Premier League? I think Arsenal should. That's a very, very good question. I think it's very difficult to do, and it's a risk. But I think from Arsenal's point of view, yes. No, but I'm not even an Arsenal fan, and I'm excited for you because I'm like, nobody saw this coming. I mean, it wasn't so long ago that I was doing these watch-alongs and Arsenal were losing, and I was saying, you've got to stick with Arteta. You can see what he's doing. And, Arsenal fans are printing shirts off. They're slagging me off in their videos. And now they're like, yeah, we're going to do this. Shut up, United. And I'm like, hold on a minute. I'm a United fan, and I said you should keep Arteta, and you were saying get rid of him. And now suddenly you're going, in your face, Goldbridge. I'm like, what face? I'm the one who said stick with your bloody manager. You wanted to get rid of him. But even I, who could see the potential of Arteta, I don't think anybody thought Arsenal would be in a title race this season. Their aim was to get in the Champions League. They've not been in the Champions League for about 5 years. Nobody really predicted Arsenal were going to win the league. And I think now that you're in this position, 100% I'd bin Thursday night football. I'd get out of that Europa League as quick as you could. Because you don't want to not win the league because you pick up an injury on Thursday night. And also it's very difficult to play Thursday night and then Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, it's a big thing for Arteta to do that because it's another way into the Champions League. But you're going to get Champions League football because of top 4. So what's the value of the Europa League? I would bin it. and focus everything on this. But that's, that some Arsenal fans, most Arsenal fans might disagree. Conte is always harmful to a club in the long run, says Daniel. And you should make a United version of the Southgate dress so you can wear it every week. That missed that beauty, says Matthew. Mark, I love this food chat. Can you bring back Cooking with Goldbridge? Yes, it's coming back, Daniel. It is coming back. Have you ever thought about making a video on the people who are in the United board? Almost all of them aren't football people, says Matic. Yeah, but yeah. Who should be the next Spurs manager, says Ivan. You know what? I do think that Potter would have been a good choice for you as well. Probably more than Chelsea. I think Chelsea would normally have a more high profile. I think Potter at Spurs would have been quite good, but obviously you're not going to get him. I think Eddie Howe would be good for you, but you're not going to get him. If you go back to Pochettino, nice jumper, Mark, says Ladios. Well, it is a nice jumper, but it's a very much a dad jumper on a Sunday. I've got my shirt and my Gant jumper on, but it was a bit chilly this morning. I think it's going to be quite chilly this week, so I just went for something a bit practical. Yeah. Have you seen her? Have you heard? Don't describe the way I feel. How could it ever come to pass? You'll be the first, you'll be the last to describe the way I feel. It's a terrible weekend for Man City, isn't it? Absolutely. Luis Enrique would be very good. Yeah. Very, very good. Has he left Spain yet? He bloody should do. So we're about to hit half time. And the question is, how bad are Spurs? We all know how good Arsenal are. But how good are Spurs? Very good. Very bad. Arsenal are very good. Spurs have done sod all. Absolutely sod all. As well, can I just say this? I can't remember when, but I've had conversations before. We've done it here. Best 5 goalkeepers in the league. Harry Kane, decent chance. Corner. 2-0 is a dangerous score. But you got to, 2-0 is a dangerous score as long as you're making chances. If the new owners ask you to take the football director position at Man United, would you stay and keep doing the TUS and football or take the job? I'd have to take the job, Josiah, because, getting Man United back rock and rolling is more important than, sitting talking shit. Hi, Marky. Just wanted to say your content and humour has helped me through hard times. Thanks. Hope you're well, says Connor. What a shit shot by Højbjerg. Oh, he's gone down afterwards, though. Greetings from Austria, Mark. Love your content. Mark, do you think City was stronger without Haaland? Because for me, it seems like it, says Show. Yeah, they're a better team. I think Eric should sign Kudos from Ajax. He's class, says DBN. So Højbjerg has a shot here. Wait a minute. It's a FIFA penalty. Takes the shot. Oh, no. It's never going to be a penalty. He takes a shot. Saliba turns his back and then jumps into him. Oh, it's not. No way. Do you think Nkunku will do well at Chelsea? He's not going till the summer. But he's a good player. Half time, yeah, it was never a penalty. It was just, it would have been, it was so late. It was yesterday, tomorrow. Not a pen. We're at half time. Everybody. How bad are Spurs? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. How bad are Spurs? 1 minute. How bad are Spurs? How bad are Spurs? Well, I'll tell you what, they're very bad. They're very bad indeed. I just think that, well, that for a start, you can stay on the page. Where are you? We sort of looked at it briefly, but 56% possession for Arsenal, 9 shots to 4, 3 on target to 2. The funny thing is, both goals are preventable. Arsenal have been the better team by a very long way, but both goals are completely preventable. Lloris has cost Spurs any chance in this game so far. Can Arsenal win the league next month? I don't think that will happen, Daniel. We're not even halfway through the league yet, so there's 57 points to play for. I think there's 60 actually, because we've only had 18 games, so there's still 60 points to play for. Long way to go, but they're in a very, very good shape, Arsenal. But Spurs, rubbish, absolutely rubbish, terrible to watch, and they don't even get results with that. They're unpredictable in many ways, but they ain't getting top four. I'll tell you now for free, Spurs ain't getting top four. And I'm not saying that in the hope that, no one wants to get clipped up for being a twat, but, I know some people do that, Haaland's a flop and all this nonsense, but I don't do that, and I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm telling you now, Spurs will not get top four. Newcastle are better than them, and I think Liverpool and Chelsea will catch them. I think they're dreadful. Man City will sweep them aside on Thursday. Arsenal have swept them aside now. They're just dreadful. They're dreadful. I looked at their starting lineup. Their back five, their midfield is just workaholics. There's no creativity there. Their front three is very, very good, but where's the creativity? Harry Kane has to drop deep all the time. It's poor. It's poor from Spurs. And then they've got a goalkeeper that's cost them 2 goals. It's not a good mix. Odegaard deserves more respect. He's our best player in my opinion. Zinchenko has also been fantastic as Lachlan. I think Odegaard, and I've said it for a while, I think that Odegaard is arguably the best number 10 in the Premier League this season. I think he's been fantastic. We just saw somebody in the chat there. Very good point from V. Larson. He says, is top 4 already locked out? Well, who's going to get in? I'm a United fan, and I'm like, I worry about injuries. I worry about the fact that we're not even halfway through the season yet. So, of course, that could be a problem. But on the other hand, what about who's going to get it? I personally still think. Brighton aren't going to do it. Fulham aren't going to do it. Spurs aren't going to do it. Chelsea aren't going to do it. I think only Liverpool really. Golden Axe says it looks. It does. What a game that was, by the way. Top 4 does look locked. Yeah, I think the only team that could do it is Liverpool, and they don't look like they're going to do it either. So, yeah, I think it does look locked at the moment. And Joe says it's 100% done, which is amazing for Newcastle if it does happen. But 10 points on Liverpool for Man United and Newcastle makes it very, very difficult indeed for anybody to get into that race. But yeah, somebody just said in the chat, don't write off Spurs. Why not? Why can't we write off Spurs? They're bloody dreadful, and points on the board is going to be very important this season. But look at Spurs' last 6 games. They've lost 2, drawn 1. They're going to lose again. So after today, out of their last 6 games, if they lose today, they'll have lost 3, drawn 1, and won 2. It's not good enough. And then their next fixtures are Man City on Thursday, and then they've got Fulham away. And then they've got Man City again in the league. 2 of their next 3 games are Man City. So that's 2 losses. They've got Fulham away sandwiched in between that. Leicester away. West Ham at home. And then Chelsea at home. Wolves away. You sort of look at Spurs and go, I don't know where you're going to win. They finished last season very, very well. But last season they were playing good football, as I said in the first half. Son, Kane and Kulusevski scored more goals as a front three than any other front three between January and May last year. I don't think they'll score more goals as a front three than Harry Maguire at the moment. They just look rubbish. Absolutely bereft of ideas, creativity. I've always wondered this, and I don't know how many Spurs fans we've got watching. Why don't you have a number 10? Since Christian Eriksen, you've never really had a number 10. You had that Lo Celso, didn't you? But why have you not got a number 10? Why, I know Harry Kane drops deep, but he does it for England. There's still a number 10. Why don't you play with a number 10? Everybody else plays with a number 10 and you don't. You play with a back 5 and it is a back 5. A back 5 can be offensive. Your back 5 is defensive. Your midfield 2 is defensive. So you play with a back 7 and a front 3. It's ridiculously incohesive and ridiculously, unentertaining. I just think that Spurs, whatever you think about Spurs, and I know there's more trophies in an IKEA cupboard than there is in a Spurs cupboard, but trophy cabinet. But the reality is, Spurs do have a way of playing. They always have had a way of playing. I remember Spurs very vaguely as a kid, Hoddle and Waddle. I remember in the 90s, they were a good attacking side as well. Terry Venables, Gary Lineker, Gascoigne. That was a little bit, early 90s. They've always had that, all the way through to Harry Redknapp when he had Gareth Bale. They've always been a team that, will concede 4 but score 3 maybe. Entertaining. I don't think this suits Spurs. Mourinho didn't suit Spurs, and I don't think Conte suits Spurs either. Our game against Arsenal will be very important. Win, we're in the title race. Lose, top 4, says Abhishek. We've got Palace first, by the way, mate. If we draw with Palace, we won't be in a title race. Yeah, I remember Spurs. Yeah, I remember that after the World Cup, actually, with Klinsmann. They were an entertaining side then. They're just so drab. And I think it's a bit like United with Mourinho. When United got Mourinho, I think a lot of other people were like, I know Mourinho's football shit. I know he doesn't develop youth, but we need to reset the clock. He always wins the title. He'll only be here 3 years. As long as he wins the title, we reset the clock and we build again. He didn't. So then you've got a manager who you know is not going to play the football you want, and then he's not delivering the trophies you want either, and it goes sour very quickly. And I think Spurs on a different level have got that with Conte. He's a good manager. He normally wins things. It's now obvious he's not going to win anything, and the football's not good enough. In fact, it's exactly the same as what we had with Mourinho. You sort of sell your soul to win trophies. And Mourinho did win the Carabao Cup and the Europa League, but it was the league we wanted, and we didn't get it. And when it became apparent that wasn't going to happen, and it all went toxic, it was time to go. And I think with Conte, Spurs are approaching that. Very, very good manager, but the football's rubbish, and you're not going to win anything. Is the league wrapped up because Arsenal are winning here and Tottenham are rubbish, says Dynamic. No, there's a long way to go, Dynamic. I think we'll know a lot more about this league after Arsenal have played United and City, which is the middle of February. Garnacho hasn't signed his contract renewal yet. Is that a cause for concern, says AJ Flores? No, because I think his contract runs till 2025. Odegaard's got to be player of the season. What a bargain. Saliba and Gabriel got to be the best defensive partnership in Europe. If they had been playing France and Gabriel, Brazil would have had a better chance of winning the World Cup, says Zane. It always has to ruin it, doesn't he? Is the league wrapped up? Done that one. Garnacho done that one. Spurs have no midfield. Villa tore them to pieces, and now Arsenal are doing the same, says the HPN. And your defence is very crap as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Arsenal City game. It's February the 15th, which I think is a Wednesday, so we're about a month away from that. Yeah, really looking forward to it. I'm guessing you think United are in the title race, Mark, says Bedrock. No, I don't, actually. I don't. And I'll tell you for why. Because of this. I mean, you can't say... There's a contradiction going on here. And the contradiction is this. I hear people saying Liverpool can't get top 4, right? Liverpool can't get top 4 because they're 10 points off top 4, yeah? But United are in a title race, and yet we're 10 points off the title. You can't have it both ways. So I don't think we're in a title race. I think if we beat Arsenal and we beat Palace, there's pressure. But I don't feel we're in the title race yet. I think you can talk about it and potentially could they get into one. But I don't think we're in a title race at the moment. No, I think it's Arsenal title. You look at that league table. That's Arsenal's title to lose. That's as it stands. That's assuming Arsenal win because that's as it stands. They've got 47 points, but it's Arsenal's title at the moment. Yeah, but then the most important thing, and I think we're all guilty of this, is remember this because it's the middle of January. People are thinking we've had 23, 24 games because we normally have. We've had 18 games. 19 games is halfway. We're not even halfway through. How much do I have to donate for Boxbridge versus Pineda? Says William McCreta. I don't even know who that is. Mark, Liverpool won't get top 4. That team needs a revamp and it's poor, says Dale. Yeah, so look, I'm not talking about titles for United. I know some fans are, but I'm not putting us in a title race. I want to get top 4. I think Champions League football is so important. And, mentioning Liverpool probably won't be in the Champions League next year. Chelsea probably won't be in the Champions League next year. Spurs probably won't be in the Champions League next year. There is an advantage if you're in the Champions League when it comes to recruitment. And, there's an advantage because you're in a better tournament as well. I can't stand Thursday, Sunday. I really can't. Do not forget that we are sponsored by Sneak Energy Drinks. I am drinking it here, Cherry Bomb. I had a very, very rubbish night's sleep last night, so it's really helping me out. Sugar-free, low-calorie energy drinks. This is Cherry Bomb that I'm drinking. You can get one of these and 9 different sachets as part of the starter pack, delivered to your door, next day delivery in the UK. They do ship worldwide as well. Lovely flavours like Cherry Bomb, Purple Storm, Blue Raspberry, Electric Mango, Origins, loads of flavours. Check them out. Get the starter pack, or you can go straight for your 40 serving tubs or fizzy drinks. As I say, delivered to your door. Always nice with a bit of ice cubes in it as well. I need it. I'm knackered, absolutely knackered. It was a late one last night as well. Mark, what do you think of Conte, says Stanley? I like Conte. He's a good coach. And you know what? I can't hide from the fact. Many people say this to me. You were begging United to get Conte. I was. I was also begging them to get Brendan Rodgers. I think I'd have begged for Neil Warnock. Because there's context. There's always context. I love it when people try and ridicule your opinion. Because there's a date. There's a date on that opinion. I didn't say it yesterday. I said it when Solskjaer had just been beaten 5-0 by Liverpool at home and was clearly out of his depth, and Conte wanted the job and was available. And I was like, there's not many managers I wouldn't have took. I would have took Brendan Rodgers. That would have been a mistake. I would have took Conte. Might not have been a mistake. Maybe at Man United he would have done well. He's a very, very good manager. There's no doubt about that. And people just want to deal in absolutes and say this or that. But the reality is, if United had got Conte, then maybe it would have worked. Now, ultimately, it worked out for us. But we did write the season off. You know, we sacked Solskjaer in December and we wrote the rest of the season off. Is that ever acceptable? No, it's not. But I think Conte is a good manager, but he does not suit Spurs. At Chelsea, it worked. At Spurs, it doesn't work. I don't know why it doesn't work at Spurs. Maybe limitations in transfer budgets, ambition. I don't know. But it doesn't work at Spurs. And, you know, what I think, again, you know, I'm so tired. I need some more. William says, let's get Mark Goldbridge on the next Misfits card. I think I'm a bit too big for that, mate. What was I going to say? Completely lost me now. What are Spurs doing in the January transfer window? I mean, I don't think you're going to get top 4, but you're not getting top 4 if you don't do anything in the January transfer window. What are Spurs doing in the January transfer window? It's frustrating enough that United aren't really doing much. Arsenal desperately need to do something now they've missed out on Mudryk. Chelsea are buying everybody. Liverpool did buy Gakpo. Not seen Newcastle do anything yet, but we know they've got the money. What are Spurs doing? Spurs need to use the code SneakBridge, says Lee. And you might have mentioned it here, but Palace is now a bigger game for me than Arsenal. Also, I agree with you, what you said about Conte, says Shahin. Look, everyone's got the right to support their team in whatever way they want. I couldn't care shit about Arsenal at the moment. All I'm thinking about is Crystal Palace. You know, we're playing Crystal Palace on Wednesday at Selhurst Park. We need to win that game. And if we win that game, maybe Casemiro gets a yellow card. Then he's not playing against Arsenal, and then we'll lose for sure. So I don't... You just got to go every game at a time. If there's one thing that Ten Hag's teaching us, it's that. Players are out for the second half. How can a top 6 team play this badly? It's absolutely insane to imagine they have the best striker, says Francis. I'm serious. I've been a Spurs fan for 38 years, says Mats. This is so bad. What is the game plan? It's the same game plan you seem to have had all season, mate. It's dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. You know, where's the intent? Where's the chemistry? Where's the game plan? You know, it's a London derby, North London derby. It's your biggest game of the season at home, and you're being absolutely schooled in every area. It's embarrassing. You know, if you play in Villa, it's still embarrassing. But this game matters more than any other game, and it's really dreadful from Spurs, and it's not acceptable. And they're drifting. They don't seem to have any leadership on the pitch or off the pitch. And I don't see, you know what, I heard somebody saying the other day on the radio, the thing is, we might just have to focus on the FA Cup. You're not winning the FA Cup. You're not good enough. You're not a good team that's not getting, you know, I look at Man City in the last couple of games. They've lost both, Southampton and United. They're a good team. City are a good team. They've had a couple of bad results, but they're a good team. Spurs are not a good team. You can't say we might pick up an FA Cup. You won't pick up an FA Cup. You won't. You won't pick up anything because you're not a good team. I just think the way Conte and Jose play football doesn't work in this league anymore. Good football teams are the ones winning the league. Levi, that's a really good point, you know. Really good point, because you look at Brighton, they play such good football, don't they? I think you're right. Arsenal play good football. City play good football. Who is anywhere who plays this, I suppose, archaic way, which has had success in the past? Pragmatic football. Who's doing that? But 2-0, look, it's a game of two halves. That's what Spurs need. They need it to be a game of two halves. Dreadful in the first half, brilliant in the second half. That's what they need. It can happen. It's happened in the past. 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline if you concede first, but they have to play a lot better. That's a nice ball into Kane. Max says Ben Foster is live on the Swedish Premier League panel right now. He's all over the place. I hope we're doing our show tomorrow morning. Not heard anything. Maybe he's not in Sweden. Arsenal on the attack again here. Come on, Spurs. You've got to give us a game here. You've got to give us a game. Richarlison's on the bench. Macrina. Oh, Zinchenko's been a fantastic signing for Manchester City. For Arsenal from Manchester City. I said it at the time. I said this at the time. The signings of Zinchenko and Jesus. It's a bit like what Man United have done with Casemiro. You're buying good players, but you're buying mentality players. Man City, for the last few years, have contended every Premier League, and they've won most of them. They've gone deep in the Champions League. They've won Carabao Cups, etc. If you've been part of that Man City side for the last 5 years, you've been coached by one of the best managers in the world, and you have a winning mentality, you go to a club like Arsenal, and they're brilliant signings by Arteta, because you go to a team like Arsenal, which is gradually on its way up, but cannot have winning mentality because they don't know how to win. You bring two players in like that, straight away, they're going to give you that mentality, and then they're going to teach everybody about it. So, you can buy good players. Kulusevski, just over the bar, good play. You can buy good players and they can improve your team. But if you can buy good players that have also got a winning mentality, it's a huge thing. And Arsenal needed that. And Arteta, again, has highlighted that. Obviously, he's got good connections with Manchester City. But those two signings have been really, really good. Good bit of play from Tottenham, to be fair. Well, hopefully we see a bit more of that, because they can't be as bad as they were in the first half. Look, you're 2-0 down. You can't play counter-attack defensive football, can you? They've got to try and play on the attack. They have to. Hassie says he's just realised that the green screen's back. Well, it's nice to have it back, actually. Beckhorst trained for United today, says Mason. Well, yeah, he's registered now, so you'd expect that. Sterling hasn't worked at Chelsea. No. Well, maybe Sterling's... I don't know whether Arsenal looked at Sterling, but, I don't know. That's Chelsea's problem. All I'm saying is that the Arsenal players that have come in from City have made a big difference, haven't they? Nice turn here by Kulusevski. Early ball into Kane. Oh, good save, Ramsdale. You can't fault Spurs there. That was good. Kulusevski is a very good provider. Played the pass quickly. Harry Kane got the shot off quickly and Ramsdale made the save. It was clean. It was a good attack by Spurs, this. I'll give us this. I think Sarr gets in. Kulusevski uses body well. Good pass into Kane. One touch, bang. It's probably a little bit comfortable for Ramsdale, to be fair, but it's a chance. It's a chance. And it might just get the crowd up a little bit. Corner to Spurs here. In it comes. Good header away. Mark, what players would you take from Arsenal and Spurs at United, says Joel? I'd like Odegaard, definitely. I would like Odegaard. Who else would I like? I mean, he's not fit, is it? I'd take Saka as well, definitely on the right wing. I think that would help United. I'm just thinking about what United need. Man United need midfielders, and we need a centre-back, so I'd definitely take Saliba. So I'd take Saliba, Odegaard, and Saka if I could take 3. From Spurs, I mean, I would take Kane, but he wouldn't be my choice in the summer. But from Spurs, if I had to take 3 players, I'd take Kane, Kulusevski, and Lloris. No, I wouldn't. Kane, Kulusevski, and probably Højbjerg. I do think Højbjerg's all right, and I think Højbjerg as an understudy to Casemiro would be the sort of player you would want, actually. So, yeah. How bad do you think Spurs could get if Harry Kane does leave to go elsewhere? Take him out and that team doesn't make top 6, says Levi. And yes, he is. Ben Foster, he should take it with his face. He said about a Lloris mistake, says Joseph. Thank you very much. They're in! Oh, what a save by Ramsdale. Big chance for Sessegnon. I don't know how it doesn't go in. Lovely 1-2 with Kane. Oh, they've took the corner quickly, so we won't see it. Son. Kulusevski does well. Needs some support here. Ramsdale's insane, says No Empire. Cross comes in. Arsenal under a little bit of pressure here. It's been a better start from Spurs. Maybe Arsenal will play a little bit different second half anyway. Cross comes in, headed away. Spurs need to keep this going here. They need to keep this intensity going. They are getting chances, and it's been a good start from Spurs. Cross comes in again. Harry Kane nods it. Nah. Need to see that save from Ramsdale again from Sessegnon. Hi Mark, didn't get a chance to watch your Talk Sport show last night. Is there a way to watch or even listen to past shows? Says Zero Connection. Oh, that's a good save by Ramsdale, that. Sessegnon's gone, bottom corner. And it's a very good save, that, by Ramsdale. That foot save is absolutely fantastic. What a save. What a save. Oh, bug off. Sarr's been booked here for Spurs. And that's it. We've seen it with David De Gea for years. You acknowledge the goals because they're the ones that make it 1-0, 2-0. But those saves, they're like a goal. That save by Ramsdale, the second one, I thought the Kane one was quite straightforward, but the one with the foot, that's like a goal. That's going in the bottom corner, and he's made a fantastic save with his feet. And, Arsenal have got it all going on. They've got it all going on everywhere. It's a good side right the way through. But encouraging from Spurs. First 5 minutes of this half, it has been better. On the Talk Sport thing, I think you can get playback. I don't know how you do it because I've done it before myself. You can listen back to shows. I think if you go to the Talk Sport website, there's a section on there where you can listen to past shows. So it will have it on there, definitely. Brendan says, what do you think about Mudryk? He could be involved in this, but he's gone to Chelsea. Money talks. Money talks. Dirty cash, I want you. Dirty cash, I need you. Oh, money talks, money talks. Dirty cash, I want you. Dirty cash, I need you. Oh. That's what it is. Tell me I'm wrong. He might end up being a legend at Chelsea, but it's money, isn't it? Sanchez did it. Alexis Sanchez did it. He could have gone to Man City. Man City were going to win the league. He could have gone to Man City, signed for Man United. I don't know how those players feel. Maybe they'll go, I don't care about the title. I've made more money than I ever thought possible. But there is also the aspect of the money that Chelsea were willing to pay, that Shakhtar Donetsk would not accept Arsenal's bid, but they've accepted Chelsea. So what's the player supposed to do? I want to go to Arsenal, but Arsenal won't pay what Chelsea will pay. You've got to pay what other clubs will pay as well. So Mudryk could say, well, look, I wanted to go to Arsenal, but you didn't want to pay for me. Chelsea did. So Corrupt says, I know Mudryk knows that Chelsea are the bigger club. Another half chance for Spurs there from Kulusevski. Good player, Kulusevski. Well, it's better from Spurs. You would question why it takes them to go 2-0 down to start playing like this. I think the thing is, I've played the game, and I look at that Spurs side. They can play like this. I've played the game. They can play like this. But they don't until they're 2-0 down. Make it make sense. I don't know. They do, yeah, but they can play well. As I said, this time last year, they couldn't stop scoring with the same manager and the same front three. They can do it, but it's not the plan. Their plan is not to do it. Their plan is to try and nick a goal on the break and be defensive. And then when they're it's a bit like Southgate, isn't it? Remember Southgate against Germany? 2-0 down, throws caution to the winds, plays really well. Thanks everyone who subscribed, by the way. We're only 50 away from 877,000, so please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, get involved with that sport. We've got some good we do daily content anyway, talking about stuff that's going on, but watch-alongs is what we do. Nketiah, Lloris manages to save that. You never know. Man City Spurs Thursday night is our next watch-along on here, and then Saturday lunchtime Liverpool Chelsea. So 2 big games coming up. They're all big games at the moment, but there's an Arsenal player down at the moment. Didn't see what happened. What's for dinner, Mark? Jack, I had it at lunchtime. It was like a chili and beef chili with chorizo in it. Lovely. Lovely. Well, Spurs, Arsenal coming under a little bit of pressure here, to be fair. But pressure's nothing if you don't score. And they're going to need to score. Kane says, what's your opinion on Villa this season? I think Emery's a better coach than Gerrard. You know, it's very difficult when you bring a manager in at that stage of the season to try and achieve something, isn't it? It's the same as Potter. No pre-season, no transfer window. It's difficult, and I think you'll learn more about Emery in the summer. But you know, if you can break into the top half of the top half for Villa, I think that'll be a good season. I was surprised you got knocked out of the FA Cup, really, because I thought that was something for the club to get excited about. You know, a cup is something that you can go deep in. Not really going to do much in the league, but that's all the Villa have got now. Thoughts on Chelsea buying another winger, says RG. Well, I did a video on this channel about it this morning. I don't get it, really. They were linked with Enzo Fernandez. There's a chance here. It's a 3v3. Kulusevski's got acres to run into. He's going to need a pass. It's a terrible pass. Terrible pass. They need a midfielder and they need a striker and they need a right back, and they just keep buying wingers and attacking midfielders. And I'm like, why don't you buy a striker or a right back or a midfielder? Kulusevski looks like a muscular James, says SMJ. They want Madueke as well. Khalid, yeah, I saw about that. Nice ball into Kane there. Go on, put it in the mixer. Son, good play, good play. Oh, Sassignon, terrible. Who's your favourite TV football pundit, says Steve? I don't listen to it a lot, mate. I used to years ago, but since I've been doing this, I don't listen to it. Most of my analysis comes from talking with you and looking around on articles and all sorts of stuff. So there's not really anybody, because I think when you accept that nobody's opinion's perfect, you just hear opinions and go, I agree with that, I don't agree with that. I don't think there's anybody who's consistently good. You know, I used to think Neville and Carragher were quite good, but I think they're so inconsistent. Like I did a video this week, didn't I, talking about Carragher, who was saying that Potter's got no right to say that other managers like Arteta and Pep and Klopp had a bad start, so that's why he's had a bad start. Well, why has he got no right to say that? He's probably got more right than anyone. He's had, you know, there are very big mitigating circumstances. And then on the other hand, Carragher wouldn't say anything about Gerrard, who was shite at Villa. So it's just inconsistent bias, and that's what I don't like. I don't like bias in punditry, and I think we see way too much bias in punditry. And sometimes it gets laughed off as, you know, Shearer used to play for Newcastle or Carragher used to play for Liverpool, but it's still bias. And when you know you're getting opinions from people who are biased, you automatically know that you can't really trust their opinion because it's bias. Chelsea love injuries so much they want Madueke, says Gazzy. He has got injury record, yeah. Meg Weeby, thank you very much for becoming a member. Scooby-Doo, could you sing your favourite 80s song, says Jack. And Gabrielle, thanks for being giving us a super chat. I like loads of 80s songs, so I couldn't sing you my favourite. I've actually got an 80s playlist on my phone, so there's loads. Some that you might not think I like. Chain Reaction by Diana Ross. I like that song by the Communards. What is it? Oh, baby, my heart is full of love and it's all for you. I like that. Like a bit of the Pet Shop Boys, Duran Duran. Yeah, in general, I quite like 80 songs. And Webu has gone to hospital with a suspected heart attack. Terrible news, Mark. Just having to retire as well. That is bad news, Jabbers. I would say thanks for the update, but I don't think anybody wants an update like that. But thank you for giving us the news on that. Yeah, Brighton midfielder, forced to retire back in the autumn, wasn't it? And apparently he's had some chest pain, and yeah, it's very sad. But you know what? As well, it is very sad. It is very sad, and obviously thoughts go out for that player. But is it not also? Isn't technology advancements good in some ways that these players get identified with these heart conditions? And you're effectively saving lives. I know they have to retire, and it's very, very sad. But it's not like it's better that if nobody knew about it, because you know we've seen players die from it. So obviously there's not a positive. That's not what I'm saying. But at least these tragedies can be prevented by highlighting these issues. But it's very sad for the player, of course. Nemanja says United won't beat Brighton away. I don't know when we're playing Brighton away, mate. I don't think we're playing them anytime soon. Favourites 90s song, Max? I'll tell you what, my energy levels are dropping. Give me some Sneak. I blame Spurs. I mean, I would have done this as a watch-along anyway, even though I'm knackered. But it's not been the game I thought it was going to be. It's not been tense, has it? I mean, both goals are preventable. Arsenal have basically come into this game with a 2-0 aggregate lead. I mean, it's not been a North London derby, has it? It's been Arsenal coming to here with a 2-0 lead because both goals were gifted. And and now it's really Arsenal doing exactly what you would do when you're in a title race. 25 minutes to go. against your big rivals, you're 2-0 up. You know, you're not looking for a third goal. You're looking to be sensible, well organised against a team that doesn't do a lot of attacking. So I agree with Cyril the Squirrel. He says Spurs need to utilise more progressive players like Perisic instead of playing 7 defensive players. I mentioned this in the first half. I mean, effectively, that's what they're doing. Their back 5 is a back 5. It's a defensive back 5. Their midfield 2 is a defensive midfield 2. So you're playing 7 defenders plus a goalkeeper. And then you're wondering why Spurs don't create much chances and are quite a boring team to watch. It'd be good if they could get a goal back. Here's Kane. Never going to get the shot off. Good defending by, I think it was Gabriel. Cross comes in. Again, good defending by Saliba. And that's the thing with Arsenal. They'll score 2 goals against you, but they've got really good defensive side to their game as well. Kulusevski battles through 2, but he can't battle through 3. What's for tea, Mark? I don't know, because I had it at lunchtime, really. I had my big meal then, so probably have a bowl of shreddies. MetaZone, do you think Man United can win the Carabao Cup? I think they've got to be favourites, really. I mean, Newcastle or Man United, but I'd put Man United as favourites. I think Newcastle fans would put us as favourites as well. Jason says Spurs are dead in the water. Cooking with Goldbridge is going to be back on my channel very, very soon. I just need to get a bit of equipment and set myself up again. I know what I'm going to cook. Is Odegaard... Can Arsenal get a break and just really put it to bed? No. Free kick. Crisps on shreddies. I'd draw the line at that, Sonic. I would. Hader says, why don't you think we can win the league? We've got the most expensive bench in the league. But why is that relevant? Money doesn't mean quality. We've probably got one of the most expensive benches in the league because Harry Maguire's on it. Like, that doesn't mean, you know, it's not like we've got prime Ramos on the bench. It's Harry Maguire, who costs a lot of money but isn't that good. So, and also, it's not the cost of your bench that wins you the league. It's the points you've got on the table. Arsenal will be 9 points ahead of Manchester United if they win this game. So that's why I don't think we'll win the league, because 9 points is a lot. As I said, people are saying Liverpool can't get top 4 because they're 10 points off it. But we're 10 points off the title, really. I wouldn't put crisps on cereal. I want goals. Let me just make that very, very clear. I would not put crisps on cereal. I don't even put sugar on cereal anymore. I used to do that. You know, back in the 90s, I'd get before school, I'd always put sugar on my cereal. I haven't put sugar on my cereal for years. Gary says, between Chelsea, Liverpool and Spurs, who has the biggest chance of making top 4? Well... Points on the board, Gary. You'd have to say Spurs have got the points on the board, but I think Chelsea and Liverpool are better than them. Thoughts on the NFL, Jack? I'm looking forward to it. I like the playoffs. Hopefully the Bills are going to win. Should be kicking off, actually, very soon against the Dolphins. But I like the playoffs. I will do a Super Bowl final watch-along again as well. I love doing that on this channel, so... Subscribe and get involved. It's always a good experience if you've never watched it before. Lovely ball. This should be 3. Nketiah. Great save by Lloris again. Well, he's made 2 good saves from Nketiah. This is why. When's Jesus back? Because you might need to be finishing those sort of chances in a bigger game. I think he should score. Let's look at it back. Yeah, he's got to score that. His first touch is crap. First touch is rubbish. Look, loses control of it. Always difficult from there. Yeah, a top striker scores that. It's not the finish, it's the first touch. Back in early Feb, apparently, Jesus. So he'll be back for the Man City game. That's important. Mark, what do you get from McDonald's? Says Tom. Normally stomachache. I don't eat it very often anymore, and I don't think my body agrees with it much now. I like a burger from a nice restaurant. I don't like a Big Mac. I find it very processed. I used to love McDonald's at a certain age, but not anymore. I don't mind that Five Guys actually, but it's bloody expensive. I think Weghorst will start against Palace, Daniel, because I have a feeling that Martial's going to be out injured for a while. I don't think Martial will play the next 2 games. No, he only needs to be out for a week to miss the next 2 games, doesn't he? She bangs the drum. Favourite takeaway and what's for dinner tonight, says Tom. I've already had it. I had a chili for lunch. Favourite takeaway, probably depends on the mood. I do like a Chinese and I do like an Indian and I like a pizza, but I'm a mood. I go with the mood. Sometimes on a Saturday night I really want an Indian takeaway and sometimes I really want a Chinese. Just depends on what you like. I presume everyone's like that. You get into different moods, food moods. I find Chinese a bit sweeter, so if I'm in a bit of a sweet mood, go for that. Richarlison's come on for Doherty. Well, they've got to go for it, haven't they? Good run by Nketiah down the wing. Still 20 minutes to go here. Good play by Nketiah there. Didn't look like a foul. He's given it. Eric Dyer gets booked. Plays nicely into Arsenal's hands. Nketiah, sorry. Probably getting the name wrong. I do have porridge in the morning, Mickey, but I wouldn't put crisps on it. Favourite Stone Roses song, says White Dwarf. I love so many of them. She Bangs the Drum is probably my favourite at the moment. But I like Made of Stone. User Loves Men. Good for you. So free kick for Arsenal. Chance to whip a cross in. 20 minutes to go. Nketiah. Good block. Good corner, good quick free kick from Arsenal, but well reacted and defended. I think Caicedo will go to Chelsea, Dan. They need a midfielder. And I think that's a shame. I think that's a shame. If Caicedo goes to Chelsea, I think that's a shame because it's happened for years. Of course it has. But Brighton are better than Chelsea and higher in the league than Chelsea. And it's halfway through the season. So you don't want to see Brighton losing players that are doing well halfway through the season. But Dutch Cry says, Rio Ferdinand said no defender was close enough to Rashford to claim he shielded the defenders from the ball. But Rio would just say what makes him popular with United fans. I mean, ultimately, if he was defending that, he'd be screaming. I've watched Rio play his whole career virtually. He would have been going absolutely mad if that had been conceded against him. So, I mean, that's just red-tinted glasses. I've got no problem with that. But listen to what Ten Hag said. If you concede a goal like that and the referee gives it, you're going to go mad. And I thought it was hilarious, but I've got to say, I thought it was offside at the time. I think Rashford was interfering with play. I think it was clever, but I think he was. And maybe there is a loophole in the rule, but I guarantee it will get changed in the future now. There is absolutely no way Bruno would score that goal if Rashford wasn't there, because the defenders would have dealt with it. So, but we won the game. That was an equaliser. We won it after that. Nothing's going to change the fact that we got 3 big points. And I'm sure they'll look at their rule and change it after that. But the same thing happened with City a few years ago against Villa. They scored a really weird goal from an offside, and the rule changed after that. Get on with it. I don't know why people are moaning about it. It's not going to change the scoreline. Man United won. Move on. I do like you too, Max. I do. I love Acton Baby. What an album that is. I like all their. I like their older stuff. There was one album I liked that they did in the early, probably around 2000. All That You Can't Leave Behind or something like that. That's quite a good album, but after that I've not really took any notice. I would have tried to buy Matoma for Chelsea, says Michael Creaney. You know, give it a minute. I mean, Chelsea could buy anybody. There's still 2 weeks of this window left. You know, I sent my daughter down to the Tesco last night to get me a meal deal, and she said Chelsea bought it. Came back empty-handed. I forgot about Driving with Goldbridge, Mario G. Yeah, I need to bring that back as well. A lot of fouls going in now from Spurs. 15 minutes to go. They've not been able to get that goal. What do I think about Rafinha to Arsenal, says AMK? Is that on the cards? Be a very good signing if you could do that in January, but I've not heard anything about it. Oh, give me some sneak. I think I'm going to do United Stand at 7 o'clock tonight, by the way. I normally do it at 8, but I think I might do it at 7 tonight. Good play by Arsenal here. Odegaard, edge of the box. He's going to give the free kick as well. I don't detect bias from this referee, but he has given a lot for Arsenal, and I think Arsenal have been the better side. But one thing I will say in defence of Spurs, and I think you've got to be fair, there was a deliberate handball by Partey in the first 10 minutes, and he didn't book him. And I think that's always going to frustrate a crowd, and it's always going to frustrate a team when you're giving constant fouls towards Arsenal. And I think they all are fouls, but I do think this referee, thankfully, hasn't had an impact on the game, but some of his decision makings have been a bit odd. I don't understand why you don't book somebody for a deliberate handball just because it's a North London derby in the first 10 minutes. But apart from that, Arsenal have been very comfortable in this game. Colin says, I'm tired like you today. Had a few to drink last night. Well, it was weird for me yesterday because obviously it was fantastic, the Manchester United result, and but that was over at 2:30, and I had to do the Talk Sport show at 7:30, so I had 5 hours where I really would have liked to have been, you know, straight down the pub, but I had to be professional. So this is a good free kick position for Arsenal, by the way. Right on the edge of the box, to the right, near the edge of the D. Odegaard's on it, left footer, Xhaka's behind him. All you've got to do is put it on target and Lloris will just jump out the way anyway. So let's see. Odegaard leaves it. Xhaka over the bar. Who do I think Spurs should sign, Xander? I don't know. I really don't know. It wasn't that far away by Xhaka, actually. It looked like it was miles over. It wasn't that far away from the top corner. Martinelli's coming up. Tierney's coming on. Obviously, that's a bit defensive with 12 minutes to go, but not a bad. I don't know who Spurs would look for under Conte, because I'd agree. A lot of people saying it in the chat. They need a creator, which I think they do. But you know, it's not probably what Conte is going to look for. I mean, I don't think they need another attacker. You've got Richarlison, Son, Kane, and Kulusevski. I don't think they need another attacker. I mean, they've got good players. I mean, Basuma doesn't even play. I like Basuma, good player. Bentancur will obviously be back soon. I don't know. To be honest, I'd be intrigued what Spurs are looking for, because I think they have got players. I think it's the system, it's the way they play football, and that's not going to change. So, yeah. Go to beer, says Harry. I think if I'm down the pub now, I do tend to have a Peroni. I like Amstel if they've got it, but Peroni. I used to like Brahma, but you never see it anymore. And recently, when I lived in Ireland, I used to just drink Budweiser all the time. And I don't really know why, but I just used to drink it a lot. And then over Christmas, somebody bought us a box of Budweiser bottles, and I've been drinking them the last sort of couple of weeks, and they're just if they're in the fridge and cold, I quite like them. So you know, I'm quite into them at the moment. But you know what? I'm happy with a can of Carling. If that's all we've got, I'm happy with a can of Carling. This is the thing, when you mention what beer you like, you get people like the Chronic going, Budweiser. Urgh. People are very picky about. It's like red wine. I like red wine, and I was drinking one the other day from New Zealand, and I was like, "What's this? Really nice. I'll never buy it again because I've already recycled the bottle, and it was nice." And I was like, "I'm just not a connoisseur of things, really." Spurs, 10 minutes. They've got to do something now. They've got to do something here. Cleared away. Yeah, Harry says, "Are you connoisseur of the ladies?" Well, I've been quite lucky. Not for a long time. Well, I am lucky because I'm with my wife, but there's no one else. But in the past, there's not been loads of them. I'm just saying, it's just like, you know, I've been quite lucky what I've had. It's not about how many clubs you play for. It's how many appearances you have. Figure that one out. Richarlison. Good save again by Ramsdale. Didn't really connect well with it, but he's had a good game, Ramsdale. Thanks everyone who's tuned in, by the way. It's not been the most entertaining of games. I wish it had been, but we can't have any. We can't control that. Very, very good 3 points for Arsenal. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. They could make it 3 here, Arsenal. Spurs are going to have to open up a little bit, but having said that, Spurs are going to open up a little bit. They've got 5, 6, 8 players behind the ball here on the edge of the box. It's hardly opening up, is it? I'd liken Spurs to, you know, most people when they're involved in foreplay are taking things off. Spurs in foreplay would be putting things on, like a coat, you know, another pair of trousers, another pair of socks. That's Spurs football for you. Son, over the bar. I mean, they've had half chances, but they are lackluster. Man of the match, says Pietro. Ooh. Odegaard's had a good game. I thought Saka had a good first half. But Ramsdale's made some big saves in the second half as well. I think it's been you know what? Actually, Spurs needed it to be a game of 2 halves. Crap in the first half, brilliant in the second half. Actually, you know what's happened? Good play by Kulusevski. Ramsdale again. It's been a game of 2 halves for Arsenal. The first half, attacking-wise, very good. Second half, defensively, very good. So, they've shown both sides, Arsenal, haven't they? Spurs still pushing, but I don't think they're going to do anything now. Tommy Asu's coming on. Lloris is Arsenal's man of the match, says Jessica. I mean, as jokes go, very accurate, but you're probably right. The Martinelli performance makes me rue the Mudryk deal a bit more. I like Tierney at left wing though, says Alex. Yeah, I don't I must admit, I haven't really seen much of Arsenal since the World Cup. I saw them quite a lot before the World Cup, but just the way the fixtures have gone, I think this is the first watch-along I've done of Arsenal since the World Cup. So I'll have to see them a little bit more to sort of, see who's in form and who's not. But there's not a lot of difference from before the World Cup. Ramsdale, the back four, very good. Xhaka and Partey, very well organised. Odegaard, very impressive. Saka, very good. Obviously, Nketiah is not your first choice strikers. You've got to go easy on him. But Martinelli probably has been a little bit quiet today. There's a foul for Spurs on the edge of the box. No yellow card for Saka or Saliba though, so they will play against Man United next weekend. Barcelona versus Real Madrid predictions. Do people still care about that? I'm only joking. I mean, it's not as attractive as it used to be. I remember it was Ronaldo and against Messi and that. But Norfolk, who's in the final of the Masters? I'm really disappointed. I really do like the Masters, and I've just not had a chance to watch it this last week. It's been really busy. I'm really pissed off about that. Although I think a lot of my favourite players went out quite early. Selby, Richardson, Wilson. If Trump's in the final, I wouldn't watch it anyway. Even though he's a United fan, I'm not a big fan of Trump. Trump versus Williams. I'd love Williams to win. I might watch it. Anyway, Son with the free kick. Into the wall. 4 minutes to go. Kulusevski. Good shots. Deflected. Ramsdale's there. I will record a bit of a match reaction for this afterwards as well. And MSS, is anyone from Africa? I guarantee there'll be people from Africa watching. Let us know where you're watching from. Oh, I always like that, and I forgot to do that today. Let us know where you're watching from, everyone. I'll read a few out. Ben Davies is coming on for Spurs for Kulusevski. Make that make sense. Make that one make sense. God, we've got loads of people. Somalia for Real MK. India for AS Beats. Perth, Australia for Alistair. Malaysia for Brandon. Pakistan for Mohid. Albania for Jacob. Love all this. Love it. Dublin. God, I'm coming to Dublin in late March. Get ready. Maybe early April. I say it every year. South Africa. So there you go, Eunice. Bulgaria for Georgie. England for Werewolf. Iraq for Ali. Benji's in New Zealand as well. It's amazing, isn't it? Amazing community we have. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Carlton, Nottingham, says Apollo. My dad used to live in Carlton, Nottingham. At the top of a very, very big hill. Very big hill. Westdale Road, I think it was. Something like that. And there was another road that began with an F that was bloody steep. I can't remember what it was called. Frida, was it? Something like that? Massive hill. When it snowed, you'd die if you went down it on a sledge. It was very hilly in Carlton. Got people watching from Germany. Alabama, says Lonely Madge. USA, says Noah. Mauritius. Kent, says King. Iceland. Not the shop. I think that's the place for Finder. But you never know. He might be watching in Iceland. They've got good Wi-Fi. Here's Son into the box. You were onside, Ben Davies, you twat. No, it was Perisic. You were onside. He's moaning about the pass and he was onside. Son slips Perisic in. Perisic puts his hand in the air and ignores the pass because he thinks he's offside. He's actually on. Not going to make any difference now. Where do I think Spurs will finish? I'll make a little virtual wager with you. If Spurs finish any high, I think Spurs will finish 6th or lower. If they finish higher than 6th, I'll be stunned. Tom says I drove up Carlton Hill yesterday from Notts. Steep, baby. Tom, it's very steep. There is a 7 o'clock show tonight, Mark. Not 8 o'clock. I'll be doing it at 7 o'clock. So make sure you tune into United Stand. I'll get it set up at some point. Mark, where can I buy Man United versus Leicester City tickets? United site only has hospitality ones and memberships are sold out, says Maz, coming from Canada. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of season ticket holders, but I don't think they'll be selling their tickets. Arsenal fans are loving it. Well, it's always great, isn't it? I mean, we had it yesterday. We were at home, but obviously we beat Man City yesterday. It's a fantastic thing. Arsenal have had to wait till Sunday night. They've thoroughly deserved it. I'd have liked Spurs to get something out of this. I think it would have been useful for United, but they didn't deserve to get anything out of it. It's not like Arsenal have got any luck or any, contentious decisions. They've been the better team. Attacking wise in the first half, they were very good. And then second half, they've been defensively superb. So clean sheets, 2 goals, 3 points. There can be no complaints from anybody, really, who've watched the game. Arsenal have been the better side. Saliba's not got a yellow card, Yak. Nice little try. Whereabouts in Dublin were you living? I worked in Dublin, Diego. I lived in Malahide, which is North Dublin. Nice place. Near Portmarnock. Yeah, no one wants to be in the Europa League, do they? I don't think even Brentford or Brighton or Fulham would want to be in the Europa League. I'd advise not to be in it. Ramsdale has been outstanding. I mean, I'd argue that he could be man of the match because he made 2 big saves early in the second half that would have really put the pressure on if they'd have gone at him. I don't think City need any new signings, Ishmael. They'll wait till the summer. I don't think they do. No. Doesn't mean they won't, but I don't think they do. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. You're very, very welcome. Thanks everyone getting involved. Remember, we're going to do Man City against Spurs on Thursday night. I think Spurs will get absolutely hammered. I can't see anything else. I mean, Man City are not in great form, but can you see Man City losing 3 games in a row? Yeah, Mudryk is official for Chelsea. Good win for Chelsea today. They needed that. Potter needed that, especially when they're going to Anfield next Saturday. We'll be doing that watch-along at 12:30 as well. Really interesting game, that Liverpool-Chelsea game. I mean, normally you'd be thinking, is that an outside chance for the title? It might not even be an outside chance for top 4. Bills have got a touchdown, says Lengo. Go on the Bills. Go on the Bills. Although, I'm a Cowboys fan, really. But I love the way... If you're not into NFL, Bills just play so expansive, entertaining, really good. We're into the last minute here. There's no way back. There's no way back. A bit like my back. There's no way back for this being healthy again. Oh, have a stretch. McAllister is made for Manchester United, says Gabriel. I think Odegaard's been fantastic this season, John. Really, really good. Yeah, really, really good. You were right about Arteta, Mark. Well, let's see if I'm right about Potter as well. I mean, you can't always be right, but... I mean, I laugh at these Arsenal fans who are suddenly like, oh yeah, and I don't blame them enjoying it, but some of them were very bitter against Arteta, and they must know that they are complete and utter frauds in many ways because they gave him so much shit and nothing's changed. He just needed time. He was clearly building something and people didn't want to let him do it. And now they're reaping the benefits for a guy that they were quite vile about. Can't believe Odegaard cost 30 million euros. What a bargain, says Louis. Yeah. This will be the last kick of the game. Cross comes in. Ramsdale catches it. Spurs need to get in their car, get to Costco and buy all the bog roll they can because they've been shocking, says Misfits. It's not been a great North London derby. It's been very, very, very comfortable for Arsenal. But I can't say I'm surprised. I think we needed to see a Spurs that we haven't seen for, this season, really. And they were really poor. And that is the final whistle. It's a fantastic win for Arsenal. It puts them, 8 points clear at the top of the league. Name on the trophy. Probably not name on the trophy, but I'd say hand on the trophy. Ramsdale and Richarlison having a bit of something going on here. I don't know what he's doing. Fans trying to get at him. It's all going off a little bit here. We'll stay live for a moment. I don't really know what happens, but there's people running over. Steward's involved as well. Ramsdale needs to just calm down. You've got the points. Come away. Don't know what happened. Arteta's taking him away. Still going off. Xhaka's going to get involved as well. You've just won 3 points, mate. You're miles ahead. Don't let him get in your head. That's it. Run away. No need. No need. Okay. Handbags for sale, says Leon. Exactly. I'm on the United Stand at 7 o'clock. I'm doing a quick match reaction now. Thanks everyone for watching. Really enjoyed it. Good watch along. Good to do that. And I don't think anyone can argue about the Arsenal win. I'll take you in a bit. Don't forget, we were also sponsored by Sneak, sugar-free, low-calorie energy drinks. Links in the description. Check it out. You can get 9 flavours as part of the starter pack. Please use the code SNEAKBRIDGE. Sugar-free, low-calorie energy drinks. Check them out. Blue raspberry, cherry bomb, all the flavours. Give it a check on the link in the description. And please use the code SNEAKBRIDGE and help the channel out. Thank you very much.